Okay, so now there are multiple ways for white to continue this game, like capturing this pawn on d5, and after e takes d5, and then bishop to e2, and then he can go for castle, which is the best continuation of this game. But instead here white, after castling, he decides to bring this queen to d2, preparing for the move rook to d1. Okay, and now queen to e7 by Rubinstein, and here some of you might be thinking of capturing this pawn on d5, and most of you be like, bro, after knight takes d5, knight takes d5, queen takes d5, white will be a pawn up, right? But guys, after this now comes rook to d8, and now you can see black is threatening to capture on b4, creating a discover attack on this queen. So to stop this, queen to b3, and after that bishop to g4, and now suddenly you can see by sacrificing a pawn here black successfully activate his pieces, whereas black is still behind in development, and you can see black is better. So that's why after the move queen to e7, here white goes for bishop to d3, preparing to castle. And guys, now this is the part from where this game goes crazy. I mean, let's suppose if white is not careful and he goes for any move like rook at a goes to c1, so that he can take control over this c file. And guys, now I just want you all to pause the video and try to find the move which black can play in this position. And guys, now you might be shocked that in this position, black can actually sacrifice his rook by rook takes d3. But why we are doing this? Basically, the idea behind this is after queen takes d3, now comes this crazy move bishop takes h2 check, and after king takes h2, and after that knight to g4 check, king to g1, queen to h4, threatening mate in 1, and to stop this the only best move is queen to d6, and obviously you cannot slide this rook due to the threat of queen takes f2 check. Okay, so since this h2 square is now covered, now how can white continue from this position? And yes, you are right, the move is e5, so that so that he can cover this diagonal. And now to stop this mate, now white is forced to capture this pawn, and after knight takes e5, you can see this is all over and black is winning. But now guys, I will tell you something which you didn't realize. So for that, let me go back to the move which is bishop takes h2 check. Yes guys, basically in this position, yeah, so basically after king takes h2, you can see black is going to this move which is check, and after this king goes back, simply this, and we already discussed. But guys, let me go back again. And guys, the move bishop takes h2 is only winning when after king takes h2, knight to g4, and and we all know that if we go there, this is losing. And guys, now basically the move bishop takes h2 is a mistake. Yes, that's the main part. But why this is a mistake? This is because after king takes h2, knight to g4 check, the move is not king to g1 because of this move queen to h4. So that's why the move is king to h3. Now you can see there is nothing which black can do to attack white king, because let's suppose if you brings this queen to g5 square so that you can give a check, but now comes knight to e4, attacking this queen as well as cutting the fire line of this bishop. And if let's suppose queen to h5 check, king to g3, queen to h2 check, king to f3, queen to h5 check, queen to h5, and obviously this king can't go to e2 due to the threat of knight to e5 check. So that's why king to g3, and now you can see there is nothing black can do to attack the white king. What an amazing variation. That's really amazing. Okay, so let me go back to the original game. After the move, which is bishop takes e5, yeah, after this move, here white goes for f4. Here, which is definitely a mistake because this weakens the pawn structure of the king side pawn. Bishop to c7. And now white can bring this rook into the game, but instead he goes for e4. And here Rubinstein simply brings his rook to c8. And since black can anytime give a check, so it's better to just slide this king. But instead he decides to attack this knight. Okay, so now knight to g4 by Rubinstein, trying to deflect this queen so that black can activate his rook by rook takes bishop. So that's why bishop to e4. And after that, queen to h4 by Rubinstein, threatening mate in 1. So to stop this, the move h3 can be played, but here white made another mistake by pushing g3. And guys, that's a mistake because firstly, you opens this diagonal, and you can see here black has this strong diagonal which is pointing towards this king. And guys, taking this as a hint, now I just want you all to pause the video and try to find the next crazy move played by Rubinstein. And guys, the move is to sacrifice this rook by rook takes c3. He's basically sacrificed this queen, but why we are doing this? Okay, so as I said, this light square bishop is eyeing on this king. But previously, we had a problem that this knight on c3 was defending this bishop. So that's why we firstly eliminated this bishop, this knight, so that we can capture this bishop on e4. And now here, white captured this queen. And again, I just want you all to pause the video and try to find the next crazy move played by Rubinstein. Okay, so let me give you a hint. The hint is same as the previous one which was given to you. Okay, so let me tell you again. As you can see, black is now threatening to capture this bishop on e4. But as you can see, this queen is guarding this bishop. So the move is to deflect this queen by rook to d2. Basically, we are trying to deflect this so that we can capture this bishop. And after queen takes d2, bishop takes e4 check, queen to g2, and in this position, the final move by Rubinstein is rook to h3, and in this position Georg Rotlewi resigned, because as you can see this queen is pinned, and this queen cannot capture this bishop due to the threat of rook takes h2 mate. So that's why, let's suppose if he goes for rook to f2, that will simply not work because of bishop takes f2, and in the next move you can see rook takes h2 will be a mate. Like this video and I will see you in the next one. This is your host Bison signing off. Bye bye.